Right now, something unusual is happening behind the scenes in the silver market, and most people have no idea how big this could become. Political power, executive influence, and a metal that has been manipulated for decades are suddenly colliding. And if history repeats itself even slightly, silver may be heading toward a price level that sounds impossible today. What you're about to hear isn't hype, it's a pattern. And once you see it, you won't be able to unsee it. For years, silver has been called the most undervalued asset on the planet. Not because it lacks demand, but because it has been strategically controlled. Now, with Trump back in the political spotlight and executive-style policy discussions returning to Washington, whispers around strategic metals are growing louder, and silver is at the center of that conversation. Before we go deeper, take a second to like this video and subscribe to Bullion Alert HQ. We break down market moves, political shifts, and precious metal trends without noise or hype. If you care about protecting purchasing power, you're in the right place. Let's rewind for a moment. Every major silver move in modern history has been triggered by politics, not investors. In the 1930s, the US government stepped directly into the silver market. Prices were reset overnight. Private ownership rules changed, supply chains were altered. Those who understood what was happening early didn't just protect themselves, they multiplied wealth. Fast forward to the 1970s. Inflation was exploding, trust in government was collapsing, and silver went from under $2 to nearly $50. Again, not because people suddenly loved silver, but because political decisions broke the financial system's balance. Now look at today. Trillions printed. Debt levels that mathematically cannot be repaid. Strategic resource shortages and growing geopolitical tension. This is the exact environment where governments stopped playing by free market rules. During Trump's presidency, one thing became very clear. He was willing to use executive authority aggressively. Tariffs, trade restrictions, supply chain controls, and national security classifications were not theoretical. They were applied fast. Silver is no longer just a precious metal. It's a strategic metal. It's critical for solar panels, military electronics, EVs, medical technology, and advanced defense systems. Every modern weapon system uses silver. Every green energy plan depends on it. Here's the uncomfortable truth. There's not enough silver above ground to meet future demand at current prices. That's not opinion. That's math. When political leaders realize that a resource is both scarce and essential, markets stop being free. Prices stop being organic, they get reset. A reset doesn't mean gradual growth, it means a sudden repricing. Overnight policy changes, executive orders, strategic stockpiles, export restrictions. All of this has happened before with other commodities. What's different now is the scale. Trump has repeatedly emphasized American industrial independence. Strategic metals independence fits perfectly into that philosophy. If silver becomes classified as a strategic asset tied to national security, the pricing mechanism changes instantly. Here's where the $200 silver conversation begins to make sense. People hear that number and laugh. But they laughed at $2,000 gold. They laughed at $100 oil. They laughed at $40 silver in 2005. A reset doesn't care about charts. It cares about necessity. If silver were priced honestly based on supply versus industrial demand alone, it wouldn't be under $30 today. Add monetary demand, inflation hedging, and geopolitical stockpiling, and the current price becomes illogical. Let's talk manipulation. Major banks have been fined billions for suppressing silver prices. That's not conspiracy. That's court records. Suppression works until it doesn't. And when it breaks violently. Political pressure accelerates that breaking point. Trump's economic style favors shock moves, big announcements, fast action, market disruption. If silver becomes part of a strategic executive framework, paper contracts become irrelevant compared to physical metal. And this is where most investors get caught off guard. They own exposure, not ownership. In previous resets, paper silver failed, physical silver repriced. This is why insiders are quietly accumulating, not bragging, not posting charts, just stacking. If you're still watching, you already understand this isn't about getting rich quick. It's about being positioned before the narrative changes. Think about how fast public opinion shifts. One executive order, one global conflict escalation, one supply chain freeze, and suddenly silver isn't cheap anymore. It's unavailable. The $200 figure doesn't come from hype. It comes from historical ratio resets, inflation-adjusted pricing, and industrial demand projections under government-controlled allocation. Will it happen tomorrow? No one knows. But resets never announce themselves in advance. They happen when the public least expects them. That's why channels like Bullion Alert HQ exist, to help you see signals before headlines catch up. As we move closer to election cycles, political volatility increases. Markets hate uncertainty. Governments respond with control. Precious metals respond with repricing. Silver has always been the metal of political consequence. Gold gets the headlines. Silver moves the system. Before we wrap up, I want to hear from you. Do you believe silver will be allowed to remain suppressed if it becomes essential to national security? Or drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. If this video helped you see the bigger picture, share it with someone who still thinks silver is boring. Information spreads faster than price until suddenly it doesn't. And remember this, every major silver move in history looked impossible right before it happened. Stay alert, stay positioned, and stay ahead with Bullion Alert HQ.